The service of Allah's deen should carry. That's the only reason He wants a child. And so to Him, that is a kind of rizq. And so that changes our view of how we see what we should ask of our children. Some of our kids are going to be, engineers. Some of them will be doctors. Some of them will be teachers. Some of them they'll go into different careers. They'll have their own skills and aptitude, and they'll go in different directions. But one thing we should ask of all of them from Allah is that they become good children, that they do good. It doesn't matter if they're not imams or scholars or hufad of Quran. It's okay. Not all of them are going to be that. And that's not what Allah wants either. That's not necessarily the case. You don't say, this child I'm giving to deen, the other kid's dunya. There's no such thing. There is no such thing. All of our children are children that are supposed to be in the service of deen, and that doesn't take their career paths and their success in business, their success in studies, their success in medicine or whatever else, that doesn't take away from their success in their deen. They still need to be dhurriya tayyiba. This distinction, unfortunately, we've taught it to our children, to the point where we start thinking, when my kids are going to the university, they're studying worldly things. And I wish they were serving deen also. No, going to the university is also a service to deen. That's not just a service to dunya. If you have the right mindset, if you're inspired by revelation. And that's what really we need to give our children. That's what makes them dhurriyatan tayyiba. Okay? Look at, I always go back to, Yusuf alayhi salam and Musa alayhi salam, because it's important. These are heroes, right? And they did not spend most of their life studying revelation. Right? Just think of it from one point of view. Yusuf alayhi salam spent his youth as a servant, and then he spent his youth in jail. And he's an incredible hero to us. We learn from him. But he never sat there studying Tarat. Or he wasn't even given yet. He never sat there learning the teachings of Ibrahim alayhi salam. He had a little bit of an education of Islam from his father before he was separated. And all this time, he's what we wish our children were. What we've done is, we feel if our children know more about Islam, then they'll be good children. Then automatically, if we have our kids memorize the Quran, they'll be good kids. If we have our children study, take this class, or put them in Islamic school, make sure they go through these textbooks, they will be good children. I'm not undermining the value of Islamic knowledge, but understand, knowledge and character are two worlds apart. They're two completely different things. There are kids that have no knowledge whatsoever, and they can be dhurriya tayyiba. And there can be kids that have incredible amounts of knowledge, and they are not tayyibat. They're not. That's a scary thing. But what we've done, unfortunately, is a kid has memorized the Quran in our culture. A child is put through madrasa to do hifz. They've memorized the Quran. They've led a couple of rak'ah in tarawih. That's it. These are Ahlul Jannah. They're not. This is not what makes you. Rabbis knew Tarat. They had a lot of ilm. That did make them good. Zakaria alayhi salam was making dua for a good child while he was surrounded by people that study the religion in the sanctuary. Inni khiftul mawaliya min wara'i. People of religion. A'imma. Ulama. That were around him. And he was afraid of them. Because he didn't see goodness in them. And so our definition of goodness needs to be broader. And we need to understand that there's a difference between teaching the knowledge of religion and actually building character that the religion wants. And that character is far more important than the knowledge. And the knowledge is only there when the character is about to fail, that knowledge comes and helps again. Like, Yusuf alayhi salam, when the time of temptation came, لَوْلَا أَرْرَأَ بُرْهَانَ رَبِّهِ. What he learned about deen kicked in at that moment. And then he's able to make good decisions again and good decisions again. So that's one thing that I thought it was important to highlight in the dua of Zakaria alayhi salam.